This video was created by the ICANN Accessibility Project for a series of e-learning modules designed for domestic violence and sexual assault providers to enable them to make their services more accessible to people with disabilities. The agency spotlight videos are included in this module so that providers may learn more about statewide agencies that are available for support to survivors with disabilities.
Tell us 3 great things about your agency.
1, we help low-income people who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford to hire a private attorney for their civil legal assistance needs, like housing, domestic or sexual violence issues, consumer issues, health care, public benefits. Secondly, we do advocacy, which means we can help educate stakeholders and legislators about what needs to be changed in the laws to improve assistance for low-income people. And finally, we provide free trainings. So if you need a training on, for example, what the new 2020 laws will be on domestic and sexual violence issues, I am happy to do that type of a training for you.
What services does your agency provide for people with disabilities?
We provide services, as I mentioned, for all low-income people who need civil legal assistance. So specifically for people with disabilities, they might qualify for things like needing to get help with their health care needs, or getting into a nursing home or assisted living, domestic and sexual violence. All issues that affect low-income people would also affect people who have disabilities.
How would someone with a disability access services at your organization?
If someone with a disability wanted to get services from Virginia Poverty Law Center, they would just contact Virginia Poverty Law Center at our 800 number, and they would be able to get connected with whatever service they needed. If a person needs help with local legal aid services, in other words, an attorney to represent them in court, they would want to get connected with their local legal aid agency, which is one of the legal aid agencies that my agency, Virginia Poverty Law Center, supports. So to do an intake with local legal aid, you would call 1-866-534-5243. That's 1-866-534-5243.
Do you provide any services to people who may be experiencing abuse?
Yes, I provide services for people who are experiencing abuse or domestic or sexual violence. So for one, if a person tries to call their local legal aid office and that local legal aid office is full, they can't take any more new cases on. If the person calls me at Virginia Poverty Law Center, I can give them advice over the phone for free or make a referral to another lawyer who may or may not be able to take their case. But at the very least, I could advise a person who does not have an attorney and who is income eligible about what to do in preparation for their hearing.
How would someone with a disability access services at your organization?
So again, in order to receive services from Virginia Poverty Law Center, you would just have to contact us. The number is 1-866-534-5243. Certain types of immigrant victims of domestic or sexual violence can qualify for visas that are for victims of violent crime. So the best way to ask for those services is to call my office and do an intake with our La Vida program. La Vida stands for Legal Assistance to Victim Immigrants of Domestic Abuse. And the person would call it's 804-351-5256. That's a local number, 804-351-5256.
How long will it take before services begin? Is there a waiting list?
It really depends. If someone is calling for quick advice over the phone, for example, in how to prepare for a protective order hearing that's coming up tomorrow, I can give them that advice and counsel over the phone today. But if they are calling to see if they're eligible for our La Vida immigration clinic, we would do the intake, determine if they're eligible, and depending on how long our wait list is, that person, if eligible, would be in the wait list, and we would let people know how long it would take before we would be able to start serving them.
Is there a cost for services?
No, that's the great thing. There's no cost for services for legal aid. If you qualify for legal aid in Virginia, you will not have to pay for legal services. So our services are free.
Where are you located?
Virginia Poverty Law Center is a statewide program. We don't have walk-in services, so the best way to reach us is to call us, and you can do that, again, by calling the 1-800 number, 866-534-5243, or if you want to do an intake for the La Vida immigration program, the local number is 804-351-5256.
If you are located throughout the state, how can providers get in touch with you?
If providers want to get in touch with us, they can also call that 800 number, 866-534-5243.
Is there any public transportation nearby?
Yes, there is public transportation nearby. We are located on Main Street, but again, we're not a walk-in type of service. We're a statewide program. We support all the local legal aids in Virginia. I know some of the local legal aid offices do allow walk-in services, but we would not be able to do that.
Do you provide training and support for service providers, such as training on assistive devices?
Yes, we provide training and support for service providers. So we would be able to come to your office or your staff meeting and provide those services.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
The only thing I'd like to mention is that we are happy to work with other statewide stakeholders and local stakeholders. A lot of the ways I learn about laws that are not working are from you, local service providers and victim advocates who explain from a frontline perspective why a particular law is not working. So please feel free to contact me, and I'd be happy to help try to work on that for you.
This video was developed by the ICANN Accessibility Project. The mission of the ICANN Accessibility Project is to promote and facilitate awareness about abuse of people with disabilities and to advocate for equal access to services and legal protections. The ICANN Accessibility Project is a collaboration between the Virginia Commonwealth University School of Social Work and the Partnership for People with Disabilities. This project is supported by grant number 19M5304 VA15, awarded by the Virginia Sexual and Domestic Violence Victim Fund by the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services. Opinions or points of view expressed do not necessarily represent those of the Department of Criminal Justice Services. For more information about the project, please contact Jackie Robinson Brock at robinsonjb3@vcu.edu or 804-628-2965.